Yeah. Hey guys, what's going on? Kyle with TheCardGuyz. I'm joined with Austin. You just got second place.
Again, yeah.
You're pretty good at that one.
Every time, 100% of the time?
Is that how that goes?
Yeah, every time, 100% of the time.
We've been trying to get your video, like your decks, for a while because you always got to go. And so here we are, we're finally here, and we can actually do a video with you. And you've been on Prism for a long time.
It came out, realized in Blitz after several testings on like Discord and stuff like that. Prism was bad. Don't play it in Blitz. So I've been playing in Class Constructed. I've only ever not played it when it hasn't mattered. Like if I'm not playing for real, I'll play Viscerai or something dumb. But this is the deck I bring to tournaments. I refuse to do anything else. We went to Nationals and Prism, people told me Prism was bad. I said I will jam it anyway. We will get reps in.
Still do.
We're going to learn our lesson the hard way.
All right, well, I guess tell me about your matchup.
So, we started the night with Oldhim.
Yeah.
We raffle stomped that Oldhim player into the ground.
That's easy. That's easy.
Into the ground.
Yeah.
Round 2, Starvo.
Ah.
I lived at 27. Round 3, Starvo. I lived at 12. Round 4, Starvo. I lived at 8. Then I played against Sebastian on Chain. I got him to 0 cards in deck when he used his Artivore out of the arsenal, but I did not block properly on like turn 3. If I just would have blocked right and had 9 more life, the if and ands, of course, of Flesh and Blood would have survived, but he might have played differently. Don't know. Might have shackled less. Round 5, I played Starvo. He put me to 7. And then final round, breaking everybody's tiebreakers when I played Starvo again and beat him. All the Guardian players I beat, all the way till the last round in top 8.
You got some good matchups on your side there, buddy.
It was just great. I was like, people keep telling me Starvo's horrible.
Yeah.
Got him.
What about top 8?
So top 8 was nothing but rematches. My second round opponent in Swiss, I played in top 8. I lived at like 12. He just couldn't get me, couldn't finish me off.
Yeah.
For
that
top,
was Josh, right?
Yeah. For top 4, played another mirror match. The guy played in round 4 of Swiss. I drew runner D-reacts off the top of the deck while he was throwing 7s and 8s at me every single turn, and I just made a shield, soul shielded. Like it started with a unmovable from the arsenal for 7, take 0, stay at 5, and then running soul shields into an unmovable, and I just cleared him up. Like he left my auras alone the whole game, so I had a shimmer, a haze bending, and 2 passing mirages on the table.
Okay.
So he just left them alone. Like I put 1 out, I put the second one out. He's like, I guess he decided that I have 2 out. He's not wasting 2 turns getting rid of them.
Yeah.
Just threw heralds at him, cleaned it up. We're at last round playing for first place. This man missed a Starvo trigger twice on turn 2 or 3. And then when he was going to kill me with a crippling crush, I was at 2. I drew or 3 block, 2 block, with 1 shield on the table, and I could only blink 1 more. Most of my equipment that blocked was already gone. I was dead. I played 1 aura that game. I drew none of my auras. I drew like crap. Like I drew all my sideboard when I didn't need it to. So it was bad resource management. I just couldn't take it.
Sometimes playing that many of them, it's bound to happen, right?
Yeah.
I hate that it happened like when it did, but like it's bound to happen.
Like I couldn't even easily play out any of my zeros because there was no momentum to gain from that.
Yeah.
Like play out the 0, because knowing that he was going to Starvo every single turn, like I could have blocked probably a little differently and taken a little bit less damage early.
Yeah.
But if I just play out my zeros, these don't attack.
Yeah.
I don't get to attack within the turn I play them. So on his next turn, like every single turn, he always attacked with a Starvo trigger and left up 3 resources.
The list you play, and we
or equipment or cards?
We can go over whatever you want to start. We can start with the.
So
Yeah, it's pretty basic.
for
right?
those who play Prism and don't or want to play Prism, or have seen it played before, my list is a little different. I could not figure out how I wanted to do my equipment just because with the way Kano is now, we already are really good against Kano, especially with my options in the sideboard. When I get to that, it might make a little difference. We have the Spell Void to break up the first attack. If you're going the all-lure plan, because we can just play more blues if we want to, you probably just want to go for an Rune, but you're going to have to cut cards. My plan was stock list, Dreamweavers, Halo, Vestige, Footsteps. The 4 easy, you're playing light cards, you're trying to play to your tome and your library.
Okay.
I brought in Arcanite Skullcap. We have Chain re-emerging. We have Briar re-emerging. We have decks that you just want to play it.
The defense matters. Right?
It blocks.
Yeah.
We do have one Null Rune, and it's again for those matchups where Arcane matters. So OTK, Viscerai. If they don't change their game plan against you, and they already have cards that are good that they can just play and break you up and save their they can just play a later game with you for your rune chance. This is just good. Just having one Null Rune matters. It is what it is. Luminaris, as everybody knows. So for the list, this is just the stock list. There has been minor changes. I was running Pummels. I cut them for Herald of Reverse. I tested with Pummels this week and last week because we get to have tournaments on Thursdays. I cut them in favor of another card that blocks better, not to mention it triggers with Genesis, it triggers with Library, and it's a Herald. It matters, and I'll get to it later. We did decide to play 2 movables. I don't have a third copy, and when I get to the sideboard, I can explain that why, because you'll notice when I get to the sideboard, you'll see a lot of 2-ups. The rest of it, so originally, Prism liked to run just a suite of 18 Heralds. I have friends that I play test with and I play with. They want to run, or they're trying to run Pierce Reality as well, which is +2 to Heralds. I opted not to. I wanted to go with just the 3 of Heralds, or 9 copies of a blue Herald to be able to attack with if I can. Not to mention, we're still playing Library in my list. We're still playing Tome. We're still trying to play to that strategy. So we don't want to draw too many of these.
Yeah.
These blue auras are not very good when you're playing the Library Tome Vested strategy. Like, you can still play the Library with these, but the Tomes, I've had games today where that mattered. Like, my whole play decisions were changed because I had a blue that didn't pitch for 4, pitched for 3, resources short. So bad. So just the main suite, we decided of course you want to run Herald of Triumph. It's the -1, so it's the easier.
It's the easier one to include there.
You want to run Herald of Protection. It makes shields. If somebody lets it sneak through.
It sneaks through, it's just infinite.
And then Wartune Herald, it's a 1 for 5. It's the easiest thing to do. It lets you set up, like with Library, starting with a 1 for 5 and having the ability to crack your boots to gain an action point back. Pitch a yellow to Library, just natural strategy. So moving away, we're moving into the yellows. I'll go ahead and talk about the red Wartune Heralds. So the discussion me and some of my buddies have when we play test is, what are we doing into Starvo? I got the pleasure of listening because I was too busy doing dumb stuff in Blitz. I got to listen to one of my buddies sit in front of our store Bravo player, and he was playing a Starvo that actually played Guardian attacks. So it wasn't oops all elemental cards. So he could actually pop the attacks. I got to listen to this man get buried underneath 7 attacks with Heralds because he let auras stay around and got buried underneath the aura plane. So passing Mirage, if you can get 1 or 2 of these out, you can make the Bravo player think about their life choices. Because if you get 1 out, probably going to kill it. If you can get 2 out at the same time, I've had Bravo players just leave it alone. Because it takes too much resources and too much consistency with their blinks. And if they're playing, like I've seen some people play, I've heard of some people still playing Time skippers. Getting 2 of these out makes it hard. If you can get one of them on the table and untap on your turn with it, you get to throw your heralds at people and just make them angry at them because they're like, huh, we get to be aggressive now. Neener, neener, neener. Outside of that, this is the exact same suite that Prism has been running in Classic Constructed since it became a deck.
Sure.
Nothing has changed in these yellows. We have the Tome, Genesis, Celestial for the mirror, Soul Shields, like just everything you need to be running in Prism if you're running the yellows. These don't change. And this is the discussion that I've seen, I still run the library. I refuse to take that card out of the deck. I understand it's a win more, but with Guardians becoming a deck, and it's all variations of Guardian because they are gatekeeping the format. If you can beat the Guardian player in any versions, you can probably win a tournament. That's the way it is. If you can get a library early enough and resolve it and keep it around and keep triggering it, you will eventually gain momentum. And even if, like in my top 4, I was behind my opponent for playing. This was playing for first and second, so playing top 4, I guess. Playing to be able to play for first and second. He had me down to 10, and I got a library out finally. And I just stayed alive until I could start cycling in the triggers on the library. And then I caught up. I just caught up.
And the
rest is history. I drew runner D reacts on him, and he couldn't finish me off in 5.
So for the people who don't know, the newest additions to this deck are the blue auras that came out of everything.
Yes.
So I see you're playing 3 Haze Bending, 3 Shimmer, and 3 Passing Mirage. So what are the beneficial parts of this package of 9?
So you get the ability now, and this was something that Prism really needed. Once Briar and decks like that entered the format, we really needed a way to double aura. We have the way to double aura.
Okay.
2 yellows and anything except Arc-like Sentinel, and now you can just pitch 2 yellows, play one of your 3 big auras, and then you get to follow up after. Like if your opponent doesn't disrupt you at all with blizzards or anything like that, blocking with a stalagmite, because that's a thing now.
Yeah.
You get to just play these for free. You get to end your turn with 2 auras on the table, and your opponent gets to choose. Haze Bending, I'll go over this one first since it's the easiest one to look at, kind of. Once per turn effect, if they break an aura you control, if an aura you control is destroyed, you can do it to yourself, but I'm not running the helmet to do that. You get a shield. So you make it to where if your opponent breaks any of your stuff, you're getting extra life, extra attackers. Shimmer.
Dual threat, I love it.
Shimmer it's kind of a weird card the way it works. I missed a few triggers today, the way it's set up. It's not a may, it is a must. You don't get to delay the trigger till later. It says once per turn effect when you attack.
You do it then.
You do it.
Yeah.
I missed like 2 damage today. You choose which you attack with. For me, I just make Shimmer really big.
Yeah, just keep on giving it to itself.
Because if I can make it really big and have other auras out, they're probably going to attack the thing that's coming at them for 5. and then worry about everything else later.
And let you keep Genesis and do your thing. Yeah.
Like, it just gets annoying. I kind of discussed it, but I'll discuss it again. So Passing Mirage is an annoying card for the decks that actually like to pop your stuff. So against Bravo, Viserai, Lexi now, Azalea can do it now. Although if you're playing against an Azalea player, I hope everything that you just win. If you lose, I will find you. I will berate you for playing Prism into Azalea and losing. It lets you get free attacks and makes it hard for them to get over on you, because it used to be you attack for 6 against a Bravo player, they pop it, and then you find something else to do. With this out, you can attack for 6 and still do more things. Your boots are still alive. I ended 4 of my games today against Starvo and against Oldhim with a Passing Mirage out, attacking for 6 without Phantasm, attacking again, they breaking it, then breaking it, activating gloves after driving out all their equipment, and Herald of Eruditioning them, and they can't stop the damage. Because I've already thrown giant attacks at them that they have to block. And because I'm playing the war plan, 9 times out of 10, if I'm doing that, I got a few extra ones to come in the middle of there. So just sneaking out blocks from them.
Fair enough.
And that's kind of why these are in the deck. You can change up where you're putting the counters. If you feel as though you're good with your shields, put them on your shields. Make your opponent answer your shields.
Okay.
Make them answer them. It's just good. It's just good. We're going to move to the sideboard just because it makes a little of my play choices.
Okay.
I played in round 1 when I played against an Oldham player, and then it never came back into the deck.
Really?
It exited and then never re-entered. It is very bad against Starbow.
Okay.
You do not want it. It is a card that costs.
Fair enough.
I'd rather have these blocks in the deck, and the way my strategy's played out for the whole day until the last round against these Guardian players, I drew these attacks from the sideboard, and they were infinitely better than the prismatic shield that I would have been drawing.
Really? Okay.
Like, while I can say that the life would have mattered more, like when I was attacking for 7 and attacking for 9, I've had every single Guardian player I've played today let a 7 come through and touch them for full 7 damage.
You have to. That's the thing. Like, that card is, I'm taking 7 damage. Right? Like,
It is insane the amount of damage that Metamorph did by itself.
Yeah.
So with Prismatic Shield, you still need it. Guardians still exist. There are still heroes it's good against. But for Starvo, I'll cut it out. I have blocks that I'd like to make. I have attacks that feel better for me for the way I'm playing the deck. So then we have 2 Fractal Reflections for the mirror. It's kind of a mirror breaker, especially when you can actually untap with more than one of these. One is good, especially when you're playing against a Prism mirror. They're blocking with Heralds. This card says I have keyword text of everything you block with and everything I attack with.
Yeah.
So if you catch them lacking and they block with a Herald of Erudition because that's all they got, and you have a whole bunch of other stuff, when you get to attack with this, it says Herald of Erudition effects and much more. It is an irritating
I never
card.
actually thought about that. Oh my goodness.
Yes, it says all cards on the combat chain that are the illusionist variety.
That's incredible.
So then we have Miraging Metamorph. For those who don't know what this card is, this is a War-Tuned Herald
That card shit out of it.
that has an effect when it breaks. So you don't have an Enter the Soul, you still have the Phantasm, but it's 1 for 7. If it breaks, I get to make a copy of an aura I control. This is an effect you can respond to. So it's a combat trick card. You can start with it on your turn and make your opponent think. And if you start with it on your turn, if it comes from the arsenal, you have 3 cards in your hand.
Yeah.
1 to pitch play it, probably a yellow. And then you have the ability to make them think. You have an aura in your hand that you can instant speed in and copy.
Yeah.
If you can make a shield in response to this and get an extra shield, like I've had that done today and it's been just fine. 2 extra life is still good.
Yeah.
An extra life is just good. I did not go the full suite of Phantasmaclasms and Fractals.
Yeah.
I opted to take one of each of those out so I could so I got to play unmovable.
So you wanted to put the immovable in for
I
that
needed to
match.
have the ability to de-react. Like, just Soul Shield just didn't feel good enough to me. I was looking at lists and looking at the lists I played before. I had a list that I played in Road to Nationals, and it had immovable in it.
Yeah.
Took it to Nationals, had immovable in it. It was fine. So I opted to try to keep those in. 3 Phantasmaclasms felt like too much. 3 Fractals felt like too much. Prism's been on the decline right now. I didn't feel as though I'm going to run into those mirror matches.
Yeah.
So it was just 2 easy cuts for me. If I were to make more cuts, I'd probably cut one of each of my sideboards that I have 3 of. So probably 1 red attack, to put in different equipment. Probably no room.
Okay.
But the last sideboard card we had is Herald Protection for 7.
It's the red one? one?
Yep. So we have the full suite of Herald of Protections. It's just an annoying card.
Yeah.
Hit for 7, make a shield.
Let you attack and then
If you get a passing
Keeps you
mirage
alive.
going,
Yeah.
or especially with the way these Starboard list people net deck the crap out of that deck,
Yeah.
if people just net decked it and didn't have a personal view on the deck to actually play thinking about Prism being a deck,
yeah.
they could just get caught lacking.
Yeah.
With a 7 coming across the table, they have to block with 3 cards in their hand to stop the 7, to stop me getting an extra life and attacking you for 1 extra.
Yeah.
And then I just get to do more stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a thing I get to do with the deck.
Wow.
And is there anything missing? Any questions you have for me? Anything you think you want to be?
I think you honestly covered everything I was going to ask. Like, honestly, you were very thorough with it.
If I remembered where I got the custom. I got it off of Facebook. There's a guy that does customs. I remembered his name. I'd give him a shout out. It has a little bit of foiling in the wings, but his custom stuff always looks good. He does it for most heroes. Most of it's like commissions, and then if they don't buy them, they're like $30.
It's pretty neat.
It's better than the Coldfoil. Coldfoil is worth to me with money in my pocket.
Awesome. Well, Austin, congratulations on 2nd place. You're eventually going to get there. I believe you.
I'll try. One of these days.
You're going to get there with Prism one of these days. But appreciate the video. Thank you for going in depth with the deck, and hopefully other people appreciate it like I did. I learned a lot here. So it's been TheCardGuyz. Thank you again, and we'll see you guys later.
Y'all take care.